Hi there, everyone, and welcome to our first January Astro Clearing Circle. We are so excited to be here. And also, we were just talking about the challenges of starting the year with a calendar date that doesn't necessarily align with how you're feeling. So if you are one of the many people out there who is kind of struggling with this entry into 2025 and kind of feeling a little slow or a little draggy or not super clear about where you're headed, have no fear. We are with you and we understand. There are also lots of folks experiencing some physical stuff. Belen and I have both been challenged around that for the last couple of weeks. And so just understand that energetically, that is consistent with what we're all going through right now. And so we're going to start with a grounding exercise, very simple one. We're going to begin by just rubbing your fingertips, your thumb on your fingertips. And if you're wanting to go super fast, slow down a little bit. And if you're wanting to go slowly, maybe speed it up a little bit, maybe do little circles and just notice the sensation on the fingertips and on the thumb. And then start to wiggle your toes. So bring your attention, we're bringing our attention to our extremities, fingertips and toes, wiggle your toes. The likelihood is that if you are not in a warm environment right now, and most of us, I think, are not, we are experiencing that wintry chill, especially today was a very cold day here. The likelihood is that you're wearing socks or slippers or a combination. So you haven't probably spent a lot of time with your feet, your bare feet. Certainly you haven't spent a lot of time with your bare feet on the ground. So let's close our eyes for a moment and just remember, because you have in the last 6 months or so probably had bare feet on the ground, at least inside your house, maybe even just in your shower. Take a moment to bring your memory back to that sensation of having your feet on the ground. Really press your toes and then the balls of the feet and then the heels into the floor. Again, it doesn't matter if you're in socks or slippers or shoes or whatever you're in right now, that's okay. And then bring your attention to your breath. And as you breathe in, really draw the breath down into those feet. Take your hands, place them on your belly. As you exhale, exhale into your feet. As you inhale this time, invite the energy from the floor, from the ground, from the earth, up into the balls of your feet. And just allow it, you're not pulling at it, you're just allowing it to flow up your legs. Just notice the speed at which it moves up your legs. You don't need to make it faster or slower, just notice. As you breathe in, invite it all the way up into your hips and sink your tailbone a little further down into your seat. Maybe soften your shoulders, roll your shoulder blades back, open your heart a little bit more. You can take one hand and just give yourself a little heart rub. As you inhale again, you're going to draw that inhale down into your feet. Exhale out the bottoms of the feet. And the next inhale, you're going to draw that earth energy up through the balls of the feet. Again, just notice this time not only the speed at which it's moving, but also its temperature. Does it feel cold, cool, neutral, warmish, hot? Just notice what temperature that earth energy feels to you right now. Allow it to travel up the legs into the hips, circle around in the belly. You might want to put your hand on the belly button and just feel that energy circling around in the belly. Notice if it starts to travel up the spine. No forcing, just allowing, might be just a little trickle. Lengthening the back of the neck, sinking the tailbone into the seat a little bit more. And one more. Inhale deeply into the feet. Exhale out the bottom of the feet. Inhale, invite that earth energy up through the balls of the feet. Notice now how much easier the easefulness, so not just the speed and the temperature, but also the easefulness of that energy moving up the feet and the legs. Coming up. Notice if it's opening up the neck at all, the shoulders, into the occipital ridge and out the crown. Might be a fountain, it might be just a tiny trickle, whatever it is. And you can continue to do that for yourself. It's beautiful, simple flow exercise to help you connect with earth. And as you do that, we just want to share with you what Valen and I are up to this year. Every year we offer a beginning of the year Astro Circle, essentially. We started calling it Astro Circles about a year ago, but that's basically what we've been doing. And sometimes we do vision boarding, and there's a variety of things. This year, we actually created a 4-circle series. And this is because we have been wanting to do follow-up circles. Every time we do our January circle, we say, you know, we should really get together. And then we started doing 2, one in January and one in April. And then when we do our April one, we say, oh, you know, we should really do a follow-up one in the fall. Well, this time we baked it in. We actually created a 4-circle series, one in January for the beginning of the calendar year, so that we can kind of get a sense of what we're expecting over the next really 16 to 18 months out. And then one at the zodiacal new year for the equinox, and then one at the solstice in June, and then one at the autumnal equinox in September to get a sense of the fall energies, because they're quite different from what we're going to be dealing with in the first quarter, Q1 of this calendar year. So we're super excited about this Mastering 2025 for Clarity and Contribution, these deeply supportive and transformative interconnected circles. My goodness, I wrote way too much about this, but you can tell how much I'm loving this. And we're excited because we're really going to offer some clear guidance for you on your path. The circles are going to include grounding exercises like the one that we just did. They're going to include journeys, energy work. There's an interactive journal that Valen is creating that will have guidance and prompts. We'll have a personalized cheat sheet for you, which will tell you where the energies are going to hit you most this year, how it's going to be impacting your life. There are a whole bunch of bonuses, including our affluence affirmation creator tool, our self-empowerment checklist, an Astro card reading event that we're going to do in February that's extra, as well as discounts on individual sessions with us to really boost your focus and your clarity for your own personal contribution this year. And that can be for your profession, but it can also just be for your own personal growth, because we love that. That's what's important to us. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us directly. Also, for those of you who are in our Astro Clearing Circle, which is all of you here tonight, and those of you on recording who are on ACC, watch your email, because we have a special code, a discount code for you that's coming your way that is going to give you a special price for that circle series. And now I'm going to pass it on to Valen, who's going to share the channeled message that came through for her for this group.
And before I do that, I'm just going to add to that 2025 description. Astrologically, 2025 is perhaps the most pivotal planetary changes that have happened in our civilization. Astrology has gone back thousands of years to find what is happening this year. So it's not only were we excited to create the 4 circles and really work with it all year, it's also it's such a pivotal time. I mean, we can all see it externally, but it's just, so to have support, to have a group, like, that's why we're really excited. It's amazing what's happening this year. Anyways, that was my little astrology promo piece.
Well, it's so important for us to remember that, because it's, you know, my little brain, I mean, I look at this all the time and you tell me all the time, but my little brain just can't just can't. Like, it's so big, it's so vast.
And
I just,
some of it is even bigger because we haven't lived it yet. So until we're into it,
yeah.
it's impossible to truly know how it's going to be, how we're going to walk through it. So anyways, yeah, absolutely. So our brains can't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just my little going back to that. So this is the message that came through for this group for this month. My dear ones, you are in the midst of an incredible expansion of who you are in ways that from this point at the beginning of the year may be hard to define. And yet each of you can sense the changes occurring individually. This is a time for you to trust your own knowing of what you wish to manifest and recognize that as you align with your dreams, you're setting forth the path that will open you to the changes that will become real over the course of this year. As you trust in your own knowingness, recognize that this may be all you have to guide you forward at this moment. Practice whatever allows you to embody your dreams, your visions, and your spirit, and know that this is the path that will allow you to embrace the changes unfolding for you now. Sorry. You do not do this alone. There are those who surround each of you, guiding you forward and whispering in your ear the support and love that gives you the courage to move forward in your true essence.
Beautiful. So as always, I'm going to encourage everyone to sit with the energy of that message. Just feel into it for yourself. I will be offering energy rebalancing, some clearing and some rebalancing this evening. If you prefer not to receive that energy rebalancing, and please feel free to say no. Like, it's absolutely, this is not something like, oh, it's, I have to accept it because it's being offered. Not at all. If you're just not feeling it, if it's just not for you, check in, maybe just take your hand on your heart for a moment, just check in. If it's not for you, just please go ahead and either message the group in the chat, just say no thanks, or message me privately if you prefer, just say no thanks, and I will make sure that you are not included when I do the clearing and rebalancing for us this evening. If you want to be included, then you are included by being here, unless you say no. So just so you're aware of that. And just feeling into, if you have your journal with you, or if you like to make notes on your phone, which I like to do, and there's something that's coming up for you around this particular message. There are always things that come up for me, so that's why I'm offering it to you. Maybe something around trusting your own knowingness, maybe something about not having to do it alone, or feeling that there are those who surround you. Maybe you have a sense of who might be around you. Maybe it's a loved one who has passed on, but it might also just be a guide. It might be an animal. Hard to know. So whatever you're feeling, just maybe make a note of that. Connect in with that in this moment.
So the first piece, I just pulled a few of the kind of key astrological things that are happening that are going to affect all of us over the course of this month. And the first thing that's happening is there's a planet, Mars, planet of energy and action, initiation, passion, drive, is turning backward, called retrograde, like a Mercury retrograde, probably everyone's familiar with. So Mars retrograde, we turn inward. Any retrograde, we reflect, we review, we get to reassess. This is a redo time. So we've got our action turned inward in Cancer. And Cancer is about nurturing. It's about our emotional self. It's about feeling safe, feeling cared for, being protected. Cancer loves to create a safe space. So what's happening right now, and this just started, I believe yesterday, I don't have my dates in front of me, is this turning inward is a time when it may be frustrating to get stuff done outwardly. That Mars energy is meant to turn inward. So we can use that energy to really start to understand what we need to do to nurture ourselves emotionally, as well as others, because it's very much about family and those you love, and as well as yourself. So this is a real time to really think about it, to reflect on this, what you need to nurture your emotional self. And part of everything, as I was doing the slides for this month, I was thinking, this is setting us up for 2025. It's huge what we're about to experience, and it'll be different for everybody, but the shifts are so big that what do we have to rely on? We just have to take care of ourselves. We have to nurture ourselves. So this is a perfect setup to start to reflect on what that means for each of us. And the other piece is it's recharging our inner strength for future action. And it's going to be a fast year. It's going to be a busy year. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming at us. And so once again, this time that we're in right now may feel like, oh, I really want to get moving. I really want to do stuff, but I just don't have it in me. That's because part of this is we're actually meant to be focused on our inner world and build up our inner strength and to set us up for this incredible time that we have all chosen to be here for. So the other piece about Cancer is it's really about setting protective boundaries. And so Mars often cuts things out. So there's a place here where we can really recognize, well, maybe we don't need to do that anymore, or maybe we don't need to have that person in our life, or maybe this is a place where we can really assess what is supporting our emotional well-being and create the healthy boundaries. And I think this again is something that's going to be really important as we move through this year, and there's a lot coming at us. We need to set ourselves up so that we have a way to feel our emotional self, feel protected, feel safe, have that place where we're not giving our energies away in ways that don't feed us. I think that's part of what those boundaries are. There's another place too where Cancer's the family. So this may be a real opportunity, and Cancer's the past. So this might be a real opportunity to have the courage to let go of patterns, to release things that have been part of either our family or ancestral patterns, our past lives, or our old stories that we grew up with. If we think about our family of origin in this lifetime, this is a beautiful time to really use that Mars energy turned in, use that courage to start to let go of things that we actually now don't want to carry forward. Once again, at this pivotal year, we're being more and more drawn to what is our future and what do we let go of our past. So this too, there's an energy here that we can all tap into. And what also is going to be really important is recognizing how we can really feel safe within ourselves without seeking external validation. The world is everyone's going to be reacting to these new energies in their own way. And if we're seeking validation from outside, it may be chaotic. So what we want to do is find the safety. And I think that's a word that got changed, Sasha. And now I don't remember what it was, but anyways, didn't catch that one. Is to find that safety for ourselves by looking within. And recognizing that Mars wants to go. And it can be the energy of frustration and impatience, like, let me move. And that actually isn't necessarily, that external drive isn't necessarily where we need to put our energy. Not to say we're not doing things out in the world, that's absolutely, we're still doing our thing. But there's a place where there may be times when it's like, oh, I wish I could move forward, or something's not clicking, instead of forcing it, it's actually a beautiful time to embrace stillness, to really find the quietness and to recognize how important that is. When we can take that time for ourselves, that's allowing us to sort of capture all of this beautiful inner energy that's allowing us to create this safe space for ourselves. So that's the first energy that I picked up. I think is really important. I think it really sets us up beautifully for everything that's coming forward in 2025 for us. So we take this time to prepare in a way, prepare emotionally.
Beautiful. So I'm going to invite everybody along these lines here to take a moment, and we're going to find stillness together. So just taking the hand on the heart. And again, a little rub. Gentle little rub, the same way that we might rub the back of a loved one. And just take a moment here to exhale. Pursed lips. It's always a great way to just relieve a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling again, second time. And a third time. And as you do that, just contemplate one word or phrase that really represents safety and security for you. So one safety word that helps you to feel safe within yourself, within your life, in your home, whatever it is. And if it feels okay, go ahead and share that word in the chat. If you just want to share it with me privately, please go ahead. And I am, as Velen works on the next slide, I will rebalance you for your safety word to make sure that it is holding 100% for you. And Velen, just an FYI, I muted you.
Thank you for doing that. I would have started without. Awesome. So the next piece of astrological changes that are happening this month is the nodal axis. The nodes of the moon are shifting into Pisces and Virgo. And the nodes of the moon are often thought of as our future destiny, our future path. That's our north node. Where are we going? What's our soul purpose? What are we being drawn? What destiny are we being drawn to? The opposite side of the astrological wheel is Virgo, and Virgo is about grounding, embodying, being practical, discerning. So there's a place here where this energy is about embodying spirit. So our path forward is, over the next 18 months, to really find a way to embody spirit into our day-to-day life. And what does that look like, and what does that feel like, and how is that going to support us? And we're just right now until January 11th, this date today. So we've got a few more days. Right now, the nodes of the moon are at 0 Aries, which is the beginning of the zodiac, the beginning of the cycle. So just in this moment, for the next few days, there's a focus on what are we initiating? What new cycle are we initiating for ourselves in 2025? So it's just a point, we've been at this point for a week or so, and I'm just offering it up as something to contemplate over the next couple of days, because the nodes of the moon, our fate, our destiny, are asking us, what do we want to initiate for ourselves? Where's our passion? What path are we charting for ourselves, our own unique path, Aries? And then we've got 18 months of the nodal axis in Pisces and Virgo. So what we can do with this is we align to our own inner vision with compassion, with creativity, and intentionally connect to our spirit. Literally invite spirit to guide us it's like we connect to source, and where it can be through creativity, it can be through some sort of spiritual practice. It doesn't matter. It's where we connect to source. That's what we're looking to do as a way to guide our vision to what we're moving forward into. And we can open the path of divine connection by trusting our intuition. And so all of us in the circle have worked with this in various ways, and we, at times, are probably really comfortable, at times we question, but recognize that as a practice, trusting intuition is a practice. And as we practice and as we pay attention, as we're in gratitude for the intuition and the inner wisdom that we get, that is opening the path more and more and more. Maybe not even opening, it's making our path in the divine connection even more solid. It's like when you walk a path over and over and over, it starts to get packed down, it starts to get really comfortable, it starts to get really easy to see that path. That's part of what we can tap into with this Pisces Virgo North Node connection. And with the Virgo-ness, it's going to be really important for us to be mindful, to be grounded, to embody spirit. in whatever that means. And it can be creative, it can be connecting to nature, it can be connected to pets, it can be, being in a, really open spiritual connection to whatever fills you up, whatever brings you joy and connection to your deepest self. What we want to do is just find ways, actions, practices that allow us to do this. And, as with anything, the more you can do it, the more, so it's not about a big deal. It's more about considering the small things that we do every single day to remind us that we are embodying spirit. Tiny, tiny things. So Sasha and I were having a big conversation yesterday, and we were both looking at the sparkling snow out in the, out of our windows, and just feeling that. So that's going to be really important and part of the grounding energy that we're also going to need moving forward through this year. And the other piece about Pisces is the oneness, and there is no boundaries. And so sometimes it can be really hard to pin down, and it can be hard to see clearly. And there can be a lot of trying to see what's real for us. And once again, as we're moving forward in these changing times, it may be really challenging to know what's real and to know where we're going. This is the place where it goes back to trusting your intuition, aligning to what we know to be true for ourselves. Because externally, we may not have that definitive, oh, this is reality. I mean, we've got that externally right now. It's like, what is reality? We don't know anymore. So tapping into our inner knowing is going to be really important. And the other piece to pay attention to is Virgo can be very organized and very grounded and very discerning, but it can also create anxiety, perfectionism. It can be our inner critic. And so this is a beautiful time. South Node is what we want to release. There's pieces of that it's okay, it's time to let go of that. So I think that's equally to be conscious of where we seek to be perfect, where that inner critic has a voice that may be stopping us, maybe undermining actually our connection to our spirit. Well, are we good enough? Can we do it? So this is a beautiful time to really pay attention to it. And as of January 12th, that's when this all happens, we can really start to work with this energy. And ultimately, Pisces is our dream, it's our vision, it's the ideals that we seek. So this is going to be our time to dream in for ourselves 2025. And how incredibly important that is this year, because we're shifting into so many different energies. Like I said, hasn't happened before in some ways at all in our history. And what do we have to rely on? Well, all we can do is dream in what we individually, what's important to us, how we want to live our life. So it's going to be such a beautiful time to really, really connect to what spirit is allowing us to guide us forward so that we can create this 2025 in a way that follows our soul purpose, that is our destiny. So that's, it's a beautiful, once again, beautiful energy to work with at the beginning of this incredible year that we're starting on.
Love that. Thank you. I'm just gonna, oh, there you go. You did it yourself. Fantastic. So I did have a chance to clear and release some trapped emotions for everybody, and I will put that in the chat in a moment. But let's just focus on this nodal shift that's happening, and that we will be, the energies of which will be in for the next 18 months once we shift over, coming up this weekend. And I wanted to just focus for a moment on that inner critic, because that can be such a sneaky little piece of self work that kind of works away at us quietly, sneakily, under the radar. And what a wonderful time, right at the beginning of this new energy, this new future path, with that combination of the practical and the mystical coming together in this way. What a perfect time to take a look at that inner critic and that need to be perfect. It's so sneaky. And We all have a little piece of it somewhere. So if you can just take a moment, maybe close your eyes, exhale gently, take your hand on your heart, again, a little bit of rubbing, and take a moment, and whatever comes up, the very first thing that comes up as being kind of the way that your inner critic shows up most typically, whether it be a situation or a phrase that you use on yourself. Maybe it's a memory that you have of something that a parental figure or a teacher or a coach used to say to you, and you've kind of taken it on. And it's the way that you kind of push yourself forward, but not in a nice way, like, kind of a little self-flagellation that happens. Just take a moment and notice that for yourself. And again, if you feel comfortable doing so, throw the word or the phrase or the situation, whatever it is, in the chat. You can go ahead and send it to me personally if you like. And I'm going to clear and release the energy around that with you as Valen covers off the next piece of the astrology.
There we go. So part of what's happened is Pluto has already shifted into Aquarius, and everyone who has been with us in Circle has heard this, for a year. But as of November, the end of November, it's fully into Aquarius, and this is about our personal power, and it's about being authentic to who we are. And I think about, once again, with the shifts that we're going to go through in 2025, how important it is to really align to that part of ourselves, to our own authentic vision, to our own individuality, and recognize how freedom comes from being true, being who we truly are. And the other piece about this Aquarius energy is it can be visionary. So where we can create or tap into or feel into, even if it's not clear seeing, who we are and how we want to move forward from this point, authentically, being free to be who we are. This is the Aquarius energy, and of course we're moving into Aquarius season, in the middle of the month. So a huge part of this is embracing our own unique authenticity. So there's where we can dream in our future. You really connect to, I'm okay to just be who I am. And of course, all of us does go back to that perfectionism or feeling, are we okay to be that way? This is the time now, because that is what empowers us. It's the Pluto piece that empowers us. We're empowered to be our authentic self, and we can show up in our power when we feel true to who we are. And there's another really important piece about Aquarius, is that it's also about the community. And so what is so important now is to connect to like-minded people who share your vision. So find those people who support you. Circles like this, community, wherever you're in your community, whatever it is. And it makes literally no difference what it is, but to know that you are supported to be your true self. So find those people, or even Aquarius, even if it's one friend, find the support. So as you step into your own self in your own unique way more and more, you've got someone who's there to say, yeah, that's fantastic. What an amazing thing that you're doing, showing up in your own unique way. So it's really, I feel like with this Aquarian energy, this is going to be so important. The collective, the community, your tribe, whatever you can wrap yourself with to support you in the changing times we're in. And there's a place about, finding the connection to our own inner truth, which of course I talked about in the other slides, and creating that unique path. So as you align to your individuality, and then trusting the inner voice that says, yeah, this is what's really important to me. This is what I need to follow. This is the path I need to go on, even though people might even think you're crazy. That's very Aquarian. Like, what are you doing? When you can trust and be in alignment with your inner truth, you don't need to seek the externals. And I will also say, your community, your friends will find you when you're when you're living from that place. And Pluto is about empowerment. So this is the place where you can step into your power and actually, as this year goes on, really be inspired to take action. And that's part of what's happening in this year, in this spring. Inspired to take action that you know is right for you. That is true self-empowerment. And so we're all being offered this opportunity. And like I said, we all chose to be here at this incredible time on the planet. And all we can do is be true to ourselves. That's all we can do, whatever that is, whatever actions we take. And so as we become clear about our vision for ourselves, it's like this is a time where we can, as we're clear about that, with the Aquarius energy, being unique, being authentic, following that, that raises up the collective. That's what, if everyone could be true to who they are, could follow their own vision, can really, trust their inner voice that's guiding them forward on whatever the unique path is, the whole collective, the whole community benefits from that. So it's so empowering for ourselves and equally empowering for all those who we connect to. Really, really powerful. And when we can align to our authentic self, it makes our decisions or the way that we want to move forward clearer, makes decision making easier. This, when you know what feels right for you. So this is something we're going to be working with for a couple of decades. This, and we're just dipping our toe into this. How do I show up in my authentic self and feel empowered in that? So this year is when we really, really get to play with that. So different for everybody, but important for everybody. Beautiful way to move forward. So 2025, preparing for big shifts. So I haven't talked about it in detail at all, but there's major planets that are changing signs. All the outer planets, that has rarely happened, and there's a bunch of things that have never happened. So this is pivotal for our Earth, political, for Gaia, for the collective, for everything. There's a huge, huge, huge shift that's coming. So as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about just the key pieces that I pulled out for the astrology. This is the time now to do our self-nurturing. This is the time to recognize, what do I need for myself? How am I going to take care of myself? What practices, what habits, what routines am I going to set up that are really going to support me? This is the time to start doing this. And trusting our intuition and bringing it into some form of embodied practice. And once again, that's going to be a guiding force. There's going to be nobody who's going to be able to tell us how to move into the future, because the future is shifting so hugely. We all need to find this for ourselves, our own inner guidance. And really aligning to who we are and how we want to show up. So just to really connect with that sense of who you are, that inner sense of who you are, and recognize how you want to be seen in this new world that we're creating. And that's literally what's happening. The old world is shattering, and we are creating this for ourselves. And as we create this for ourselves, it's like our light gets to shine through the cracks. It's a beautiful time for us to really align to that part of ourselves. The other piece that's going to be so, so, so important, and with that Virgo energy coming in, this is a beautiful time to start this, is to stay grounded in your heart. It's going to be incredibly important. The other piece, and this is very much around the Aquarius, and this is family of frequency. I'm pretty sure Pam Gregory coined that that term. This is the time to really connect to your family of frequency. Find your tribe, who supports you. Know who you can lean on. Know who supports you. This is community in any sense is going to be so important. And we're moving into a time where that's actually going to be what's happening. We're shifting into a more community-based way of being in the world. And where as we're doing that, when we're true to our personal path, we gather to us the people who support us, that allow us to be who we are. And with that Mars, courage, when we honor our uniqueness and what we need emotionally for ourselves and how we're going to take care of our own self and what we want our path to be, that Mars gives us the courage to live it out. Live it out with courage. So this is an incredible opportunity right now to get ourselves geared up, get ourselves prepared in an energetic way and in a personal way to really feel grounded, to move forward into the incredible changes that we're stepping into over the next year for sure, pivotal, and then into 2026. So a beautiful time to just do whatever you can, use whatever tools that you're comfortable with, and make them part of your life. So I think that's kind of the summary for this month.
Love that. One of the things I was thinking about, you and I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but I was thinking about self-care from the perspective of physical self-nurturing, but also energetic, and how there are so many more options and tools available to us, whether it be working with an oracle deck, like the one that you've created, your astrology cards, or doing Eden energy medicine exercises, or working with your auric field, or doing some kind of guided journaling, in the sense that you can go into a meditative state and then just do automated writing or just responsive writing. Something that Lori Wilson teaches, she was in our circle last night, that she teaches is using 2 different colored pens and asking yourself a question from the perspective of a wise one, whatever, just asking that question and then having that other wise one answer in a different color, just seeing what comes up. So fascinating and that really tests your trust of your intuition as well. So there are lots of kind of built-in ways that we can take time for that self-nurturing. So certainly taking a bath with cedar or some sea salt is very, very supportive. And just remember that there are other ways as well. We love talking about those in our circles. So we're going to take a few moments now to do a little mini journey, and then a little bit more journaling and self-reflection. And once again, closing the eyes if that feels good to you, and noticing the breath, bringing awareness to your breath and bringing awareness to your heart. I like to have one hand on the heart and one hand on the belly. So 4th chakra, 3rd chakra, or even a little bit lower if you want, below the belly button, get that 2nd chakra involved. Once again, perhaps wiggling the toes and bringing your attention down into your feet. And noticing your breath, not trying to make it anything different than it is, just allowing it to move in and out of the body gently. But taking a moment of gratitude for the breath. Gratitude for the miracle of the breath, how it enters the body and exits the body exactly in the timing and way that it needs to, without you paying attention to it, without you noticing. Your connection to the earth, breathing you, providing that breath, that prana, that life force energy to move into your body with gentleness with each inhalation. And then every time you exhale, how you feed everything that's green around you. So being part of that cycle without even trying. No mind involved here, just beingness. So simple, so magical, so beautiful. So let's take a moment here to really go inside the body, traveling in on the breath, down, down, down into the very center of you. Reminding yourself that you have this external energy body, your auric field, that is your personal bubble, if you wish, that's about 3 feet out from the body, but moving in from that your skin, and then inside you've got your bones, your fascia, your connective tissue, the big glory muscles. Going way beyond all of that into the organs, beyond the organs, to the cellular level, moving into the center of each cell, feeling into that spark of livingness within you. And at the very center of that spark of livingness, you will find your inner child, your wise one. That creative, adventurous being that is always in awe and in wonder. So taking a moment to breathe into and connect with that inner child. You don't need to remember what she looks like. You don't need to have a sense of physically where he or she is located in your body right now. Just connecting in with the sense that you have of your wise inner child. We were playing with her yesterday in circle, so we're bringing her back. And as you connect in with this wise inner child, call on your innate sense of curiosity. A number of you were expressing a sense of disconnection from your own sacredness, in a way, your own larger value in the universe. And so really connecting in with the purity of this being inside you. And how curious, how full of wonder she is. And let's allow her to take a little trip. Allow her to be in whatever space shows up. Maybe you're outside in nature, maybe you're out in a foreign land, maybe you're in an environment that you don't even recognize, maybe you're in outer space, maybe you're just in a zone that's filled with light. Find a place that feels safe, sweet for you, and let her wander. Let that inner child wander. Let her wander in the wilderness of this unformed future. Know that this space that you've entered is a space that you've perhaps been in before, but you've never been in it in this way before. You've never been here in this moment with these qualities. So let yourself wander through this space and wonder who you are becoming and how that might look, feel, or sound. It could be anything. Consider for a moment how your tastes for certain foods have evolved over time. Consider the ways in which your personal style has changed since you were younger. Remember how your musical preferences have developed over time, and realize that in every possible way, including physically, the being that you are in this moment is not at all the being that you were 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, or even last year. And so this evolution is inevitable. It's a movement that's occurring from the inside out. And so the answers that you seek about who it is that you're becoming and what that's going to look or feel or sound like Those answers are within you. You may not be able to even sense them right now. You may be able to see absolutely nothing of what that is. But simply trusting and being curious will bring you to a place of awareness. Maybe not in this moment, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Soon, this combination of trusting in you and simply being curious will bring you into a place of expanded awareness. This is the time when patience is called for, and so we can ask for the gift of patience. We don't have time to be taught patience, too hard a lesson. But we can ask for the gift of patience in this moment. This is something we do in ceremony, is ask for the gift of the piece of what it is that we need or want in this moment. And so navigating with trust within and curiosity, allow yourself to wonder. Wonder what might show up for you and how you might become something else. Just sitting with that question. And as you do so, take a moment if it feels right for you, and just jot a few things down, a few observances. Maybe if you have a journal or on your phone or however it is that you like to do that, just take a moment for yourself. So we are wrapping up. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And if you want to go deeper with us, we are so open and happy to having you come and spend some extra circle time with us in co-creating from inside out. It is a 4-circle series that we're offering. The first one on January 18th, and then a follow-up on the Zodiacal New Year around the equinox. Then we'll do another one at summer solstice in June, and a 4th one in September for the autumnal equinox, which will really launch us into 2026 in some ways, as well as examining the very specific energies that we're going to be in the 4th quarter of this year. So if you're at all interested, just check out our Tools for Transformation.ca website and join us. And we will see you next time in February. Bye-bye.